So today I'm doing something a little bit unusual for me. I'm training. In a few weeks I'll be heading to a place. It's not a long route, but it's extremely mountainous. And over the last few years I've learned some things about how I react to a load on my back and walking and stuff like that. So last time I was here I walked this loop. I had no pack, nothing like that. And when I completed it, I was hurting for about like 3 days. And that shocked me, you know. Now since then, I've gone into, backpacking into mountainous areas. And I've been on some trips that have, really handed it to me, pushing me to my limitations. I'm about a mile and a quarter into this loop right now, and already I'm, quite juicy. Anybody who's ever been with, who I've ever been out there with, will tell you I don't claim to be a strong hiker or a backpacker. A couple of years ago, we went out, me and my friend went out for an overnighter. I finally made it back to the truck the next day, and I was pretty wet, pretty tired. And then the next weekend we went out and we did something very similar, and I completed that. No problem. Sure, I was tired, but nowhere near as whipped. And that's the thing. I spent a good half of the previous week recovering from the first hike. But usually it starts. Any pain, usually what I feel is in the tendons that connect my my quads, my thigh muscles to my hips. I'll feel that bad. Anyway, that's usually how it goes, from the tendons to the muscles. The tendons hurt a lot, and after that recovers, the muscles pick it up. The muscles, my muscles are pretty strong, and once the tendons start feeling better, then yeah, I'm good for a lot. So one of the pieces of kit that I'm bringing on this upcoming trip is this Spot X locator, and we just got it last week. And I was out here in the open sky trying to initialize its GPS setup, and I'm sorry, what they call the buttons on that thing are not intuitive. But I inadvertently ended up sending off an SOS message, and well, they called me back. I still don't know if the thing is working. I mean, as far as being able to locate me, when I'm out, but it will send an SOS. So I don't know what the hell's happening, but I have to find the time to contact support and make sure I got this thing running right. Well, the embarrassing stats are that I'm about maybe just a little under halfway through this loop, and I'm on my third rest. Now, I'm kind of like that when I'm by myself. I'll just go and rest whenever the heck I want to. Now, when I'm with somebody else, well, I guess it kind of depends on who you are. If you want to march ahead of me, then I'll just let you go. Because I generally know where I'm going, and I generally tend to not set overly ambitious goals, or really ambitious goals, when I'm on my hikes, as far as destinations and whatnot. I took that rest right there. I don't think I really would have if I hadn't have built that convenient bench. What I'd like to see as far as the results go of training myself for my upcoming hike is I'd like to be able to do this whole loop without resting once, with a full pack, with a heavy pack. If I can do that, then I think I'll be ready. Okay, so here's what we got. About 20 minutes ago, I passed a 4-mile marker, and I'm pretty close to where this trail joins up and the loop starts, and I head back toward the parking lot, right about where I first filmed for this. And I'm on my 5th rest, just past the 4th mile mark. You know, by anybody's standards, really, or but by hiking standards for sure, you know, this, you call this an easy trail. But you know, you take a 180-pound person like myself, you put 20, this is 30 pounds on my back, and all of a sudden you have a person who's 200 pounds on an easy trail. Okay, now I make a living on my feet and stuff like that. I'm on my feet a lot. I'm, you know, fairly active at work in my daily life. But yeah, this is taking its toll on me. I'm gonna feel this. So yeah, right there, you know, I just decided, man, I'm feeling it in my hips and whatnot, and I'm just gonna drop my pack right in the trail. And yeah, I took about a 20-minute rest, and that's how it's gonna be. I want to get better. I want to get stronger. I want to have more stamina. I got condition my body tissues and stuff like that to handle walking around as a 200-pound person. You big folks are strong. So this is day 2, week 2 of my attempts to train for my my hike that's coming up on Memorial Day weekend. Now that hike is going to be up in the Appalachian Mountains. There'll be a lot more elevation than what's on this trail. Anyway, the idea behind this is that I'm put on a pack that typically represents, you know, what I would usually carry. Usually my pack's about 30 pounds. And I'm taking this mostly flat trail loop of 6 miles just to condition the tissues in my hips and legs, because usually after a day, especially after 2, I'm hurting bad. And I know I'm going to hurt while I'm out there, but try not to make a terrible time out of it. So last week I did this. It was wasn't as sunny. It was quite overcast. There was a breeze. It was super humid though. So while I was sweating my balls off, and I ended up having to take a rest about 5 times. It's not that I'm ashamed of taking a rest. I just want to get better and be better when I'm out there and be able to cover a little more ground. All right, half mile, feeling great. If I wasn't feeling great at half mile, then I know I'd be in big trouble. So yeah, last week did put a hurt on me. Didn't last for much more than the night. I mean, it did knock me out for a day. The place up here I like to call my beach. Of course, it's not my beach, but just like hanging there. So I'm gonna do that again. So this is what I call my beach. I just love it here. Usually I have the whole place to myself. Some people out there in the water, they're having fun. So I'm backed up against these woods right here. Trail starts to get real pretty after this. So at the moment it's kind of hard to gauge how I'm doing compared to last week. I mean, the conditions are a little different, you know. I don't think I'm much less sweaty than I was. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there going to comment, hey, if you're training, you ought to be doing some cardio. And you're not wrong, but I'm not. You know, I never did get into this for fitness, for physical fitness. You know, I think I'd like to make a video about that sometime, talking about why I do what I do here on YouTube. If you're interested in that, you know, say something in the comments, and I may do it. In everyday life, I can be a little quiet and standoffish and stuff, but when I run into people on trail, I'm a lot more friendly for whatever reason. Or people are just friendlier. I mean, we're all here. It's not like we're waiting for the bus or something like that. We're all here with a purpose, to get out into nature, experience the nature, the solitude, the peacefulness of wildlife or whatever. Yeah, that guy's gonna have fun when he hits the mud. Yeah, I'm not lonely here, especially on a day like today. So yeah, if I had a boat, we can motor across this bay, chill on this beach. Doesn't get any better than that as far as I'm concerned. I'm about to say goodbye to a few trees I've got right here because I'm about to head out in the open for the next couple miles. We'll see how this goes. I'm about to come up on that bench that I took a rest on last time I came through here. I'm telling you, at this point, I'm feeling like I could probably afford to put another 10 pounds in my pack. Here's Mr. Bench. Not this time, bub. Appreciate you though. So this is about where I stopped last week. I was out conditioning myself for my hike up in the Appalachians. This is my second real rest stop in the whole 4 miles. But I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, my energy level's up. I think at this time, I think this was my 5th rest at this point last week. Might have something to do with all the monster I drank today. Maybe, maybe not. So this right here is day 3 of my training experiment. Should have been day 4, but I spent last week doing drywall. So I'm stopped at my usual resting log about a mile into the trail before the loop starts. And it's a hot day, and I think I'm feeling missing a day of my schedule. It's been a pretty physical week anyway. Yeah, nothing's really going to prepare me for mountain hiking. I have no illusions about that. On this flat trail, I don't have any of that high stepping or anything. Today I'm going to do something a little differently. I'm approaching the junction where the trail forks and becomes a loop. And usually I head right, and that would take me another mile up right to the beach. Beautiful spot, as you've seen. But I'm going to take a left turn there, and it's going to take me through all that pine scrub and stuff like that. Very sunny. Day 3. I don't know, change of scenery. I've never gone this route on the trail. This direction. Just thought things might look a little different. But next few miles have a lot of sun exposure and some wet areas. And yeah, it'll be a little while before I get back to my beach, and where I'll probably take a well-deserved rest at that point. So yeah, it's about 84, 85 degrees, about 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's pretty neat taking this loop from the other direction. You know, I mean, everything looks like an area I'm familiar with, but it's different, you know, heading the other way. One of the things kind of neat about this portion of the trail is that there's hardly ever anybody on it. So you got the place to yourself. And that's neat. But the other really cool thing about this area is the sight lines. The sight lines are just insane. So I came up around the eastern woodlands, and seeing this far is still kind of strange to me. I mean, yeah, I could easily see 500 to 1,000 yards in any direction here. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. So you want to take a different trail? Or take one you've been to before, but just take a different route. See, I've always come down that trail, and I never noticed this one. Got blue blazes on this nice wide trail. Now it's heading out to a point. I know I've done a video out there a long time ago, but yeah, I've never seen that before. I'm coming up to the courtesy bench over here. Doesn't seem like I've taken that long to get here, but I'm gonna take it. I consider this bench to be the halfway point in the loop anyway. You'll hear that? Everybody's talking about the cicadas this year. Late spring, early summer, and they're out. This is my favorite part of this trail. I love all the oaks and Spanish moss and the shadows created on the palmettos. Kind of looks better going that way than it does coming from the south. Light's a little different than I usually come through, but pretty darn nice anyway. All the shade, yeah. It's going to be kind of hard to tell how my training efforts are, what my training efforts are going to yield when I get up there into the mountains. But at any rate, I've been working on conditioning my body and making sure that I can make the best of it, make the best go of it. Gonna make it out to my beach, take a snack, 'cause I'm hungry. I'm gonna run down here. I've never really been up to the shore right here before. Something a little different. Oh, I got people. Now, well. So I'm rolling a little different on this upcoming trip. This time out I have a full pack. It's nearly 40 pounds. I've got all the food that I will bring, and all the camera gear and all that. My trusty Vixia HFR 800, whatever it's called, is on tripod across the top of my pack. Usually when I'm hiking, the last couple of years I've been having the tripod in one hand and a hiking stick in the other, but on this coming trip I'm going to need both hands. So I've got a new camera that I'm shooting on right now, and I'll pack that one for more different kinds of shots. So I am feeling pretty decently tired about now. Note to self, pack snacks in the top compartment of the bag. Easier to get at. Drop the cap, get into here, try to get at the food first. Pull up my batteries and whatnot. Got my drone case. And all that's extra stuff that most people don't bring with them. Backpacking, here's my food bag. Got my 12 pack of 8 ounce 12 ounce gallons of water. These are my go-to trail snacks. I love them. Even when they're smashed up, they're great. Taste great, don't take up much space. Actually, you can pack them in anywhere. There you go. These are pretty good. Quick energy. Very tasty, very tasty. Anyway, got about a mile and a half to go here on this trail, and my training experiment ends. We'll see what it yields me. Here's the deal, you know, as much filming for stuff like this as I do, like very little of it is routine. I mean, the routine stuff is, you know, gathering your gear, maybe planning the trip and whatnot, but you know, getting your feet on the ground, you know, getting out into it, it's not ever a routine for me. But it's always a big adventure, and always worth sharing. But I'm about to sign this off right now. Going to be taking off in a couple days, and I really hope to get this out for you, so that you kind of know how I prepared for that particular trip. No, I'm not going to the Appalachian Trail. There's the Appalachians. Anyhow, I'm out of here. Everybody, get out and do something. Have a great year, have a great summer, and be good to each other. And I'll see you next time.